Mm, 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 What's good, everybody? It's your boy William Quick with with another video. We gotta talk about Messy Jesse Jackson. Boy, this whole week has been nothing about exposing Derrick Messy Jackson. This guy is the same guy that, has spent his whole career putting down other men's quotes so he can spew his lies and paint a perfect picture for women. Most of us guys, especially us ugly guys, have been exposing this guy, talking about all the stuff that he's talking about that, black men don't cheat and only a real man loves women with stretch marks and you have to be grown to date a single mother and letting people into your house makes your house a messy house. All of this stuff that he's been talking about, all of his books, were really stories about him. He's been cheating all of this time and trying to make it look like he was Black Jesus to all of these women. But all this time he was living a lie and he was making those books into his own autobiography describing how he cheated. It's almost like O.J. Simpson when he did that book about If I Did Do It. It's really trying to describe his life in a third person. And even though he got caught, this guy is still running the con game by saying, still selling his books. First apology, his first video was talking about that, he knows the girl, but they never had any sexual relationship. Second video, he admits that, okay, they did have sexual relationship, but it's just her. And then the third video, it comes out, he's got 3 different women accusing him of cheating, and now he's admitting to all those 3 and having a sexual relationship with him. Now, the cheating and the lying, that's all terrible. But in my video, I'm going to try to defend Derrick Jaxn. If he did this differently, if he just came out right from the beginning and tell the wife that, yes, I will have you my wife, but I also want 3 other side chicks. And if you don't like that idea, then you can leave. Then that's okay. Because in Christianity and Islam, both of them talk about polygamy. If you look at the major prophets, they all exercised polygamy and they weren't punished for it. Moses, Jacob, Isaac, Solomon, all of these people had more than one wife. So even in the Quran, it allows you to have 4 wives that you can take out. It's only because we've been indoctrinated by the European version of the Bible that we had this one wife. So this cheating that everybody's going around talking about, I really call it polygamy. If you look at Brother Polite, the way he's doing it, you have 4 women. They all have each one of those houses. You can maintain a family unit by having each one of those women understand what the deal is, and he just dedicate his life to those 4 women. Then I'm sure Derrick Jaxn could get away with something like this, being an alpha male. Somebody like him, he's making enough money that he could support 4 different women at the same time. 750,000 subscribers, $1 million views. He's selling these books. Someone like him, who's an alpha male, deserves to have more than one wife. If you look at the standards in the Quran, if you're able to support more than one wife, then you're allowed to have, and if you can take care of all of them financially, which Derrick Jaxn can do that. And the reason why I call him an alpha male is because, once again, I got to review those rule of the 6s. And let me do it in my Shaniqua voice, in my Lolo Keisha voice. Girl, that man's got to be over 6 feet tall. Girl, that man's got to have 6-pack abs. Girl, that guy's got to have around with 6 figures if he wants to get with me. Girl, he's got to be working with 6 inches or more in the trunk. Girl, all of those rules of sixes make him an alpha male. Now, I didn't mention the last six because maybe Lolo Keisha doesn't want to mention the last six, which is, he's got to have at least six women on the side. So right now, we discovered four women. So in my prediction, I could see that he has at least two more women just to fit that 6-foot bill of rounding with the sixes. So from those rules of sixes, this man is an alpha male and deserves to have more than one wife because he can take care of them. So if he just came up from the beginning and talked about that he's not doing none of that cheating, and he just came up like Brother Polite and said that I'm gonna be polygamy, and if you want to run with it, then go ahead. If not, then I'll just find another girl. Because that girl, the wife that he has right now, that we never knew about, and all this time he was talking in his car, I thought he was homeless, but really he was doing all those screens in the car, so then the girl, his wife, wouldn't notice what the hell he's talking about. That guy spent all this time driving from one location to the next location. That's why he's always in the car, because he's always driving around to different women's houses. And the women did not suspect a single thing. That's why he did all his live streams. I just banged out Becky. Let me do a live stream. I just banged out Lolo Keisha. Let me do a live stream before I get home. Oh man. Because look at this. Let's say the wife decides to leave him. Look at the wife. The wife, at best, is average at best. She's like 4 out of 10. She's 30, so she hit the wall over 30. And then, she's got children, so that's another negative. And you put all that together, there's no way in hell that she would get another high value male like Derrick Jaxn. You know how hard and rare it is to get a man like Derrick Jaxn? Okay, 6-figure incomer, that makes 10% of America males. And then you want him to be black, which it would be 1% of the 10%. And then you want him to be good looking, which is another 10% of the 1%. And then he's got to be within the ages of 20 to 30. This leaves out only maybe 200,000 of these men in a population of 350 million of North America. That lady would be stupid to leave Derrick Jaxn. What she needs to do is get, with probably what she's doing right now with her gorilla clothing on, is that she's accepting that her high value man, Derrick Jaxn, he's now getting the green light to have other side chicks. And this lady's on there protecting his man. He's actually supported. So really, she does not want to be another one of these statistics. These 70%, 70, 80% single black women that don't have, any men beside them. Because it's better for her just to stay with Derrick Jaxn and then follow this kind of polygamy family structure where Derrick Jaxn is allowed to have more than one wife, and so he can still have her high value male. And then now he can repackage those books and resell them as, a married man but having seven wives. Because right now, all this lying and sneaking around, he doesn't even need to do that as a high value male. He just needs to come up with it. So that's why I think if you're a high value male like Derrick Jaxn, you just need to tell the women from the get-go what your game and what you really want to do, and stop all this sneaking around. Because what's going on in the black community right now about these single mothers and, you got these baby mamas, you guys are already doing all of this polygamy, running around with different, you got one guy with all these 4 or 5 different women with different children. You guys are already doing this polygamy. You might as well go ahead and just accept it and try and adopt it and make it more acceptable. So it allows people, to take care of children freely. Because if you look at it, back in the old days, they allowed polygamy to be exercised because there was a lot of war and strife, and a lot of men were being outnumbered by women. Even now, if if you married all of the black men with the black women, and you include all of, the lames, the criminals, the ugly ones, the disabled ones, if you married all of them, black women would still outnumber black men by 2 million. And if 70% of them, if 2 million of them are not getting married, then the best solution would be to do polygamy. So this allows, to have a father in each of these empty houses. Because you see, how often are you going to be getting with a high value male like Derrick Jaxn? Now, this lady can go ahead and listen to her friend and say, oh, no, girl, you need to let him go. You need to kick him out of the curb. We need to pack up these bags so you can get up out of this house. And, you don't need to put up with that. Go ahead and do that child support. Get that alimony. Girl, you don't need him no more. Those same girls, those same so-called friends that are helping you packing up, taking all that stuff to another house, those are the same girls that are going to be over at Derrick Jaxn's house that same night on his dick. You know how rare it is. Boy, don't let them play you. Don't let them play you, because these girls, they're going to be vicious, and they will lie. Because if that girl leaves, even with all of this scandal, Derrick Jaxn going to have a lineup of women waiting outside of his house. Because they already know Derrick Jaxn is a high value male. And this cheating, that's not going to stop a lot of women. Even now, his wife is defending him. So that ain't nothing. So that's why, even now, they might as well accept the way of doing it. Because if you look at it in Africa, a lot of the Africans people do polygamy. And it's a good structure. The man is able to go to the family and discipline the children. There's no encumbrance. There's no, man getting in the middle, making it hard to raise your children. Because if you look at it right now, black men are at war. We are. We are dying at a high rate, almost as high as an endangered species, with gun violence, black on black crime, with diabetes, heart attack, you got gun violence. There's not a lot. So right now, if you look at the black male population, our numbers are so low, it's like we're an endangered species. We're at war. So I would consider this like wartime, just like how it would be considered in the Quran back in those days when it was wartime and they're allowed to have more than one wife. So what I'm trying to tell Derrick Jaxn is to come home, my brother. It's time for you to come home and accept, this ideology which is popularized in Africa, to have more than one wife. And then this allows you to do what you need to do. You can always look at Brother Polite and how he's able to pull it off. So guys, that's why those several reasons, that's why I think that we need to give Derrick Jaxn the green light to cheat. Well, that's what they call it, cheat. I call it polygamy. So then that it protects the children, it protects the wives, and they know that they'll still have their support. And Derrick Jaxn, he can stop lying. He can finally lay his head to rest, and he can stop lying to all of these women. Boy, all this time he talking about other black men, and all this time he was doing all this stuff. He just needs to quit lying and come home, my brother, and accept your African roots of polygamy. Anyway, guys, Willie from YouTube, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and bye-bye.